We are standing inside a collapsed military barracks, concrete peeling, air unmoving. A radio scanner quietly detects frequencies that should not exist here. This is not a place for imagination. Imagination does not generate signal strength readings or measurable electromagnetic interference patterns. Tonight on Mr. Whisper's Official, we investigate 3 true nightmare stories, where being home alone meant listening to something listening back. My name is Elias, a civilian researcher, documenting anomalous signal behavior inside abandoned military infrastructure across restricted zones. With me is Mara, an acoustic analyst specializing in psychoacoustic interference, and Cole, a former communications technician with military clearance history. Before we begin, ask yourself something carefully and honestly. If a place is officially silent, why does it still speak? These barracks were evacuated decades ago, yet our instruments confirm organized radioactivity pulsing through the walls. What you are about to hear is not paranormal speculation, but documented audio evidence recorded during controlled isolation experiments. Tonight's stories are not about ghosts and sheets, but signals trapped in concrete and memory. If you are alone right now, listening through headphones, pay attention to the silence between words. Fort Ord's abandoned housing units were designed with brutalist efficiency. Thick concrete walls and reinforced corridors intended to withstand wartime stress. Cole activates a software-defined radio scanner, sweeping bands far below civilian broadcast ranges. These frequencies were once reserved for internal tactical communication and psychological conditioning research. Mara explains that concrete structures can trap low-frequency electromagnetic interference, creating resonant chambers that persist for decades. The first resident story comes from a single parent who moved into a repurposed unit without knowing its classified history. Alone at night, she placed a baby monitor beside her bed, tuned to a dead channel for ambient noise. At exactly 2:14 a.m., the monitor began transmitting rhythmic footsteps, slow, synchronized, unmistakably deliberate. There were no neighbors, no active units, and no recorded motion inside the building. Cole notes, the cadence matched historical marching drills used during experimental auditory compliance testing. Sound repeated nightly, growing clearer until distinct boot impacts echoed through the monitor speaker. The woman reported feeling watched, not visually, but acoustically, as if something was measuring her reaction. Mara explains that rhythmic low-frequency sound can induce anxiety, dread, and a false sense of presence. The resident moved out after the monitor transmitted breathing layered beneath the marching pattern. No recording captured the breathing, but electromagnetic spikes confirmed anomalous transmission. The building remained empty again, but the frequencies did not disappear. Cole pulls archival documents linking these barracks to classified psychoactive trials conducted during the late 1960s. The second story belongs to a retired veteran who reclaimed his old housing unit seeking solitude. He brought his personal shortwave radio, restoring it for nostalgic listening during long nights alone. Instead of music, the radio intercepted fragmented command phrases. Phrases like hold position, repeat last instruction, and do not disengage bled through static. These commands matched no known civilian or military broadcast frequencies. Mara identifies the signals as extremely low frequency, capable of penetrating dense materials. The veteran recorded the transmissions, believing at first they were echoes from nearby installations. However, the commands adapted to his movements, changing tone when he sat or stood. Cole confirms this responsiveness, suggests environmental feedback, not passive signal bleed. The veteran began experiencing visual distortions, shadow movement, and overwhelming dread without visible cause. These effects align with known psychoacoustic side effects documented in suppressed military research. Eventually, the radio transmitted his own name, spoken in a distorted version of his voice. He abandoned the unit immediately and never returned. The recordings remain archived, still producing signal, even when powered off. Our final account involves a squatter occupying an isolated officer's residence, deep within the housing complex. He believed the thick concrete provided insulation from the outside world. Instead, certain rooms amplified electromagnetic activity like signal funnels. Cole explains some spaces act as Faraday cages, while others become unintended broadcast amplifiers. Late one night, the squatter intercepted a looping distress signal through a handheld receiver. The signal referenced a basement level that architectural records confirmed does not exist. The message repeated coordinates that mapped directly beneath his sleeping area. As the signal intensified, the air became dense, heavy, difficult to breathe. Mara notes high-amplitude M exposure can cause pressure sensations and panic responses. The distress call never requested rescue, only acknowledgement. Each loop ended with silence lasting exactly 37 seconds. The squatter reported feeling watched during the silence, as if something awaited a reply. When he attempted to respond verbally, the signal immediately ceased. It resumed hours later, stronger, clearer, and closer. He fled before sunrise, leaving all belongings behind. Reviewing all recordings, Cole identifies a recurring digital signature present across every anomaly. The waveform pattern is jagged, irregular, and inconsistent with modern interference sources. Mara proposes residual energy theory, where trauma imprints onto mineral structures through repeated exposure. These walls absorb stress, fear, and repetition over years of classified testing. Unlike digital recordings, these signals degrade but never fully erase. Cellular interference appears smooth and predictable by comparison. These ghost signals remain raw, fragmented, and hostile to interpretation. The environment itself becomes a transmitter. Silence in these buildings is not absence, but compression. Everything that happened here still waits between frequencies. During our midnight vigil inside the officer quarters, the scanner locks onto a stable transmission. Unlike previous anomalies, this signal carries structured cadence and tonal modulation. Plays once, clearly, without distortion. The message states, "Observation continues." Then the frequency collapses permanently. Cole confirms the signal originated from within the building, not external broadcast sources. Mara warns prolonged exposure to high-EMF environments can cause neurological stress and hallucinations. These locations were never meant for long-term habitation. They were laboratories disguised as homes. Leaving, we notice the scanner still recording background noise despite being powered down. Some signals do not require electricity anymore. They persist through structure alone. These stories reveal that abandonment does not equal erasure. The military left, but the experiments did not end. They simply stopped being monitored. If these frequencies could speak, they would not tell stories of ghosts. They would tell stories of compliance, endurance, and psychological endurance limits. Being home alone inside these places means becoming part of an unfinished experiment. The radio does not play memories. It reactivates them. Ask yourself now, listening quietly, what abandoned places exist near you? Ask What frequencies still pass through walls unnoticed? Technology changes, but transmission does not forget. Some signals were designed to last longer than people. This investigation changed how you perceive silence. You are not alone. Subscribe to Mr. Whisper's official for real investigations into hidden modern horrors. We document what official records refuse to explain. New episodes explore places where fear was engineered deliberately. Turn on notifications, because some stories surface only once. Lock your doors, but remember walls can listen. Radio waves travel endlessly through darkness. Even abandoned places are still occupied by echoes. Silence does not mean safety. It means compression before transmission. This was Ghost Signals. Some frequencies never stop calling back.